Hello, welcome to my reflection for online learning. One thing that I wanted to add before we got started was I thought that the concept of a MOOC or was really cool. I kind of associate it with what we learned in our last module of the Google certification thing. But I have actually heard of this from my grandparents. My grandfather is a retired professor from Mizzou, and so he had probably been talking to my grandmother or something. My grandmother told me about it. That they have actual classes that you can go through, and of course you don't get credit, but like you can get these classes through prestigious colleges. So, I mean, if you want to learn what they're learning, you surely can, and they do have that out there. And I thought that was really neat. And sometimes, I might not always believe everything that actually I believe the majority of what my grandparents say, but um, I had totally forgot all about it until this was like, oh wow. So I'm curious if perhaps it wasn't something that was new when they told me about it. Not sure. Um, Anyways, so online learning for K through 12, I've seen it. I've actually considered it for my own children. Um, just because I don't know, I feel like socialization is very important. But after reading the online or the brochure for the Lawrence schools, there is some socialization that actually can occur. So um, it's a cool idea. We already, as far as I know, are implementing online learning in the classroom, even if it's just merely supplemental. My children both have Classroom in their class. They use Google Classroom in their class. Um, so, which I just learned that it must be only 5 years old because there was a little emblem on the Google Classroom when I was doing Google Classroom that says 5 years. So which is neat that it's early, but and they're still using it. I've been to another school that uses Schoology, and the thing I like about that is that they were doing, in one class that I was in, they were doing extra reading like William Allen White books. In order to get credit for reading, then they had to answer so many questions, like a small quiz. But the teacher didn't have to make out that quiz. They did not have to read that all out. That was just a program that was in there. And so I thought that was kind of neat. Um, so I do think that it might be a good idea to implement that every student take at least one online class in high school. Even if you don't intend on furthering your education, I just think that it's a really good idea because you could change your mind later on down the road. Also, we are moving toward a more like online world. Like as the technology like increases and it grows, uh, you know, like kids these days probably know way more than a lot of adults, especially if they didn't grow up with it. So I really do think it's a good idea because for all we know, they could end up having to take some sort of online course through their job get further certificated or certified, whatever. So, I think it could be a good idea. Uh, Working with the LMS, I decided to do both the Schoology and the Google Classroom. One thing I noticed about Google Classroom is that I attempted it with my regular Google password, and then I tried to check it out to make sure that it worked with my Fort Hays account, and I was unable to add myself to that class um, because the domains aren't compatible. I did do one with my Fort Hayes, and just checking it out, I added my daughter, and it worked. So um, I think it's because it's an educational domain that not all domains. So I do kind of like that. So not some random person off the street can just join a classroom if they don't have like the right kind of domain. Um, the Schoology, the thing that I noticed that I liked about the Schoology is that you can have a resource, you can create stuff and then just have it chilling off to the side and not in a classroom, and then you can add it to the classroom later. So I think I like them both. Um, I'm not sure which one I would like better, but I do think that each one has its pluses, I'm sure. Um, I think, and it's really important that we would have to learn about it anyways, because like I said before, a lot of classes are going to have this. Just in general, it's just part of the way things are now. Even third graders, first graders, they have some sort of class on there, and it could be something different. Like it could be like Freckle or I don't know. I can't think of all of them right now, but they're going to have some sort of something, and they will have an assigned email from the school's group. So I really do think it's really important to learn about whatever you're going to have to deal with. Anyways, I think this module was enlightening. I didn't realize there were so many people online. So thank you, and you guys have a great day.